So, okay, all right, good. Okay, so I guess the first item on the thing is the roll call, right? I think.
Yeah, I show Roger Schultz, Tom Pensick, Sue Wolf, John West, Barbara Carey, George Fisher, Deb Harder.
All right, good.
Along with El Presidente.
All right. So, and then we got to approve the minutes, I guess. Is that right?
They were distributed the 22nd, yes.
All right. So,
Anybody want to make a motion?
Sure.
Roger says Roger's to
I'll
approve.
second it.
Deb Harder seconded.
okay, good. All right.
Favor?
Aye.
All right, people.
Okay. So I think most people looked at the budgetary stuff. So I guess we need to talk about that. The operating budget and like the 3-year plans and everything. So, yep. So,
Okay, what was distributed to everybody was the individual projections and then a one put together.
all right. Yeah. Yep. So,
I don't know what order you want to do, Tom.
well, I guess we could just do each one individually, I guess. I'm hoping that we can use something that I put together. I don't see it on here, but that has it ready in case we have to change anything. So, but yep. So, okay. I mean, somewhere in there, you should have the revised budget thing or whatever. Gotta see what I can do to get to it. Chris, have you got it? It's called the Wildewood Revised 2023 or something like that.
Proposed.
No, this is one that the one that Tom did. Chris, I think we sent it to you, did we not?
I thought we did.
The 2023
The
committee.
second one you
proposal.
sent was like a bunch of worksheets.
Yeah, right. That was one, I think.
Okay, so that's the one you.
Yeah.
Final format.
No, not that one. What it is, we don't have any of the previous years. It just has what we propose. Because that way we can adjust anything we like. Okay, so, okay.
I don't think we have that in the packet.
I don't know
What
what.
actually sent out?
What's the name of the tab on that file?
Well, like I said, I can't see it on the emails anymore.
I got it. I'll make a copy for everything and everybody.
Okay.
Here, John, let me-
Oh, all right.
What we really need is for Crispy to put it up
It's
on.
what you had, yeah, yeah,
That's the one.
that's it. And go ahead and have Maggie email that to Chris.
All
All
right.
right, give us a second. We'll get it all done.
Okay, all right.
Will that work if we email it to you, Chris?
What do you think, Chris?
Sure. I would get it.
He was reheating his coffee.
Okay, she'll get it. Something else is running on the copier right now, but she'll get it.
All right,
No, so I can take a picture of it to send to Chris.
all right. Well, she has it apparently.
Let me go take a picture.
The other thing, John, if you have it on your laptop, you can share it.
Yeah, and I don't have it on my laptop. I went
Okay,
together with this packet and it didn't go.
okay.
There's so many darn pages. I just
I guess.
eliminated one here. But anyway, it'll come immediately. He's,
Okay,
I guess,
What that will do is that gives us some idea when we make changes, what will be the new fees and everything. So this way I can explain it.
it's that single sheet, Tom, that you had Friday, right?
Well, yeah, it's a worksheet, but it has a bunch of different worksheets within the spreadsheet. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but.
So they only had the 2023 proposals.
Yeah.
They didn't have anything else.
Sending is basically
Yeah.
the cover page.
Not sure. I think it's just called Wildewood.
Oh, I do have that. That's the second page.
You do have it.
It's the second page.
It's called Wildewood Budget 2023 Revised.
Did you email it to Chris? Because I can send it to him.
She did. Maggie, did you email it? Okay.
I'm not sure if this is what he's.
All right,
This may not be what you want.
No, this page is just the fees.
Yeah,
I think that was in the
That's what you gave
stuff
her.
that was
Yeah,
emailed
that's
to
what we
us.
gave Maggie. That was just the fees.
I don't think Chris has it. I don't know. Oh, the work papers Barbara has from the email. Yeah,
This is the whole, all the tabs in that revised file, and this is the names of the tab, each tab
yeah,
that I printed out.
okay.
None of them are the new fee schedule.
Chris, I just sent you the file, I think. Let's see if that works.
Okay, all right.
Tom sent him the file.
I got it, Tom.
Okay. Yeah, and when you put it up, I'll try to explain the best I can on it.
Okay,
You all should have it in the packet from his email, if you got his email.
The revised email.
Yeah.
This
What
is
does
it.
it
And
look
there's
like?
nothing in there.
He said you
He's
wanted
gonna
all
put it
that.
up here in a minute.
It's at the bottom. I
Oh.
mean, there is something at the bottom
Yeah.
here.
That's what he's talking about.
Oh, that is what
See,
he's
when he
talking
puts it up, maybe we can find it.
I don't know. Tell us what page to look at.
What tab? What's the name of the
It's
tab?
not in your packet I gave you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. It's not. in the
Okay.
It's
revised
in,
email?
it's in his email, but not in anything I sent you.
all right, Tom, I see,
Did you just email it?
I see receipts and expense summary, administrative, IT and grounds, the
Right,
whole
right.
thing.
What it
there.
is that the first page, the first tab there is the one we want to look at initially. I could explain. it,
Okay,
you know,
all right.
so-
all right, let me put that up.
It was not in one of the three emails you
No, it
sent.
wasn't in there. I thought it was in there, but it apparently it wasn't. I looked at them and it's not there.
So then the rest of us don't have it.
Right.
Can you just send it now?
Well, I can try.
It's basically the compilation.
Chris should be able to put it up, but
I can, but that doesn't mean everybody there in the room can see it.
right, yeah.
Like,
I need a projection system now.
Yeah, right.
We're gonna do. That's what
Really?
we're
Can
doing.
we put that TV?
Well, we're talking about a TV.
right,
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, okay, this is it. I don't know if you guys want to look at it. Let me do something here. Okay. All right. If you look at, the tab says receipts and expense summary. So
It's the
you start at the top, you go to, A1 or whatever. You can, Chris.
Yep,
Okay.
come on. Can't get my slider to move. There it goes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So in essence, what I did is I set it up so that the top number, the maintenance fees needed is what I figured out after doing all the expenses. If you notice, the total projected expenses are line 23. And there's a summary of the administrative, the IT and grounds, the buildings, the security pools, utility and reserves. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, so
And what's the total expenses projected, just to make sure we're all looking at the same?
3,112,822.
Okay, good.
Okay. And then what I do, I subtract out the cable TV, which is everybody shares equally. And then the interest income and all this other stuff. So in essence, so what I'm showing here is that we need maintenance fees needed about $2.1 million or whatever based upon the
I got
information.
three emails.
Okay, so in essence, so then we go down here, these are the various things that would be the various costs, the 3 months fees. If we don't do anything, we just raise the fees by that amount. Yeah, okay, so anyway, but like I said, so in essence, what we're showing here is that if we want to make any changes to the income, wherever that is, or even expenses, we can do that either in the other tabs or at the top there with the revenues. Okay,
This is right.
so
Where are we looking next?
just these still receipts and expense summary. If you look at starting on line
Get a
1,
copy of it.
It's the same as what, same as this one.
Same as this one?
What's that? Look, turn it around.
He's
and see.
using
What's it look like?
3,112,822.
Yeah. So, okay, that's 3 columns down.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
Well,
Under the
Exactly
proposed
what
Wildwood
you got.
Springs 2023 budget, Tom, you used the same figures as the 3,112,822, right?
Exactly. Yep.
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 It's in your packet. Bud.
About halfway down.
Wait a minute, we're all getting there.
All right.
No, you're too far. No, that's the board meeting packet.
Too much paperwork.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep going. It's about halfway.
Yeah.
It says proposed 2023 budget 8/9/22/22.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, we go.
so Tom's got it lined up where he can make changes if we make any changes in the income portion, right, Tom?
Tom was gone.
Oh,
Maybe he was sicker than we thought.
No, Eric.
Well, had to get some water.
Oh, okay. I said, we right now, the figures you based was the 3,112,822, right?
Right, yes, yes,
And this is also set up in a way that if you change anything,
right. So we want to change anything on the expenses, we can change it inside the separate tabs.
Yeah.
Okay, and we want to change into the revenues, that's on the first tab, the receipts and expense summary.
I guess if we go ahead then and go to the various proposals.
Right.
We can look at what we want to do administrative first. That's where
Sure,
we're looking where the hit is. And you also have a packet of this right here of the individual administrative. Okay,
It's the same as what follows.
yeah, exactly, yep.
yeah. And it's the same on both pages either, you know. But anyway, you want to go with line item? What would you all?
Whatever you want, whatever you guys want to do. I mean, the thing about the two biggest items, the insurance expense and the cable television, cable, whatever, there's nothing we can do about it, I guess. Is that correct?
That would be correct.
Well,
Can I suggest that we just look at the total for each category and
Yeah.
look at, accept the major changes?
yes.
Yeah.
All right, Barbara's suggesting that we look at.
That
the
sounds
total
good.
and-
Thanks, Barb.
Why am I not finding that?
All right, you got it, Roger.
Which page are we looking at?
Well, these two pages both match.
Right.
Back to the
You're on
page.
the individual stuff,
Yeah.
right?
No, we're going to the full thing because it has
Oh,
the
you're going to the full
The
one?
individual ones, yes, that's what we're doing. The
individual
items,
matches,
administrative.
the individual matches the full one.
But the individuals break down all the different categories and the other
Yeah.
one doesn't. But that doesn't break down the individual pieces.
Sales administration.
Oh, all right, okay,
This is
okay,
the-
all right, all right. Sorry,
No.
too many pages. I
And Tom's right. The biggest hit obviously is insurance, where we've been talking about it, but I sent everybody in the packet for the board meeting today, at least, understanding of what the insurance is, and the property is going to be a 30% increase and so on down the line. So it looks hideous because when you look at the $412,000 last year for the budget and our 634 this year, that's just almost an unbelievable.
Yeah, but in
But
actuality,
don't forget, that 22 budget was not the actual.
right, yeah, if you look,
512.
if you think about it, I think in actually 2022, we're paying like 510,000, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that was what the special assessment was for, right?
Yep.
So can I just understand this? The going from the 412 to the 512, that's already been collected for with the special assessment.
Right.
So then we're projecting another 24% increase.
Where we're
To get up to
projecting, we're projecting a 30% increase theoretically over what we paid last year.
Oh, that's a little bit
We
less,
paid
actually.
512.
Yeah, 512, but that isn't 30%. That'd be like 150,000. We're only going up by about
Yeah,
120,000.
she might be right on the percentage.
Yeah.
It's 24%.
24.
Okay.
So.
Well, the reason it's 24, property is 32.
Yeah.
Liability is 15.
Yeah.
D&O is 10. So the whole package is going up 24,
That's
but
the
property is going
composite.
up 30 for
Yeah,
sure.
I got you.
Okay, so good call. Yeah,
Now, how firm are those numbers, John? Are they just
Very.
speculative?
Yeah.
very firm.
Oh,
Pretty fun.
so we gotta do it, period. That's all. there is
What
to
do
it.
you mean by pretty firm? We've already got
Well, we
all
met
that.
with the
Yeah.
insurance agent. There'll be no quotes until 30 days before, because that's the earliest we can get it. But he told us that this would be the minimum to anticipate.
Minimum, okay, that's. all.
Well, but there've been CAI meetings where they're talking about
Somebody said
50%,
50%.
Right,
but he feels with the ACIC will be 30%.
so it's not really firm, it's.
No.
Insurance is best guess right now.
Jello.
Insurance is the
Firm
best
part is
guess.
it's going up.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and
So the other increase, just a major increase.
is cable.
Cable,
Cable,
and that's,
that's 5%.
Next year, we can get a little relief. I was telling Steve, and I think I've told other people, I contacted them and asked them if we could have some relief because of everything else of this minimum of 5% increase plus 5% on the various taxes. And they thought they could do something, and then they said, no, next year will be in the last 2 years of our contract, and they will be interested in negotiating with us. But this year, they held firm. So next year, we may be able to get away from the 5%. I don't know. At least they indicated they had some.
Maybe get
breakage.
It's not a
another
great clause in the
120,000 bucks.
Yeah.
Well,
So, but this
it's always a
is,
possibility.
yeah.
when is our contract up?
so we're talking about $30,000 raise in cable, and we're talking about
2 years.
$110,000 in $110,000. The only other appreciable change would be salaries. All committees recommended an increase for employees due to issues. And that's also put in for the administrative. That would be Maggie, and there's additional money in for my proposed contract.
So that's already in there.
That's in there.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I
Are we
have a
talking,
suggestion on the salaries. I think if we give the $2 to the employees, and that includes the building committee and whichever other committees did the same, I don't think that leaves any room for next year. If we give them $1 this year, we can turn around and give them another $1 next year. And I think they will be less disgruntled if we give them 2 this year and say next year, no, you're not getting anything. Because next year they're gonna be in a,
well, what's in the budget is 11% increase.
I know,
Which is $2 now.
which is $2 an hour. If we drop it to $1 this year,
It's like
I
5.5%.
don't, that's 5.5%. I just don't think that the guys, and I think John will back me on that, that might be better to do 1 and 1 instead of 2 now and nothing next year.
And
because
Steve
next
and I
year they're gonna be
discussed
looking
it
at
a
the-
bit, and
what-
I would agree with Steve.
I know dollar, it doesn't sound like much, but when you say, I'm getting an 11% raise, that is. But they haven't gotten a raise in so many years, is what you're
No,
saying.
that's not necessarily true. And again, everything's. They used to be $10 an hour. Okay, now the minimum is 15. Not the minimum state or the minimum, but the lowest person here is making $14 and $15. So there has been a appreciable raise over the past 6 or 7 years. Okay. To Steve's point, I believe the employees would accept anything, obviously.
Sure.
The committees all seem to be pretty firm on the recommending at least the $2. But that's, this is up to the budget. Then ultimately, even if you agree or disagree, it's up to the board.
Yeah, I got it.
I mean, my experience in a normal, say, operating environment is you budget 3% a year. So that they're kept up with inflation and things like that, and that softens a blow.
Yeah,
Or,
exactly. Well, that's what I'm afraid of next year. If we, boost them this year, next year with them looking at what Social Security is talking about, 8.9, and then, but we're not gonna get anything. You'd be better off giving them 5 this year and then 5, another 5.5 or 5.25, whatever it comes out to be, $1.
Somewhere in there.
I guess I'm just concerned about so many now hiring signs as you go anywhere. So people are
Everybody is.
trying to hire people away.
Retention is what we need to-
And they're offering them more and more money because you can go flip burgers now for $17 an hour. So why would you want to work out in the hot sun for, $15 an
Probably
hour?
because the work environment here, and the big thing is a Christmas bonus. I mean, that's to,
Yeah,
at least to the landscaping
13
guys,
months.
that is like God sent. I mean, we had one guy's wife was in tears last year at the amount that they got for the Christmas bonus. And that's all tax free too. And plus the side work that they get here,
yes.
if they go elsewhere, they're not gonna get that side work here. Because we won't allow them to come back on the property and work.
So
What's the
what is-
total benefits that they have with the whole cost? I mean, is it $20 an hour per employee with benefits?
And what's the
It's just maybe a
insurance?
tad more. Not everybody gets insurance. There's people who have opted out of it because of tax purposes and things like that. Jeff and I think there's 4 employees that get the insurance now. So that's part of it, but not a big part of it. They each are at a point now where they get a minimum of 2 weeks vacation, and some are up to 3. And Eddie and Jeff are up to 4 weeks vacation. Plus they get 4 sick days and 5 personal days, or vice versa. One of
I'm
the
just
two.
looking
So
at your program here as far as all the.
yeah, I think
Or
Sue
higher.
had me figure it out one time. And if you were making $20 an hour, if you figured all your
Benefits.
benefits for the number of hours worked for the reduced vacation, it could have been up to $26 or $27 for
I
those who
think
make
what
the
you're
top.
talking about,
And
that
that
makes sense
doesn't include
now.
the Christmas.
No,
That doesn't even include the
No, what
Christmas.
she had me do is
Yeah,
say,
I know.
there's 52 times 40
Right.
hours.
Mhm.
And if you get 80 hours vacation, take that off. And if you get sick time, so by the time you got through there, instead of 2080 hours, there may be 1900 hours or whatever it is. Then divide that in the salary, and then you come up with the $5 or $6 more worth of benefits over the salary.
The consumer is up 8.6% for inflation for 2022.
I believe that's the number.
So you're talking only giving them 5%, which is not even keeping up with inflation.
Okay,
Yeah, but,
maybe we should consider 8 and 3.
well,
Just split, make that, 11%.
Yeah,
more.
and 8.3 is the expected rate for next year.
yeah, but so that's, you're looking at another 8.3 next year. That's probably.
Yeah.
See, the other thing is, like Steve pointed out, is that they get that nice Christmas bonus.
What is
That
their
that
average?
shouldn't have anything to do with it, because that could be so variable.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's.
And
that's
It's
a
never been,
bonus,
it's gone
that's
up
not-
every single
True
year.
bonus, Right.
Well, that's
going up every
beautiful,
year.
but
Yeah, you don't
This
want
year
to go
could
out and buy a
become an
house on
exception.
it.
That's
Well,
people's
This year could
generosity.
become an exception.
So, but
well, I doubt it will ever be, but it can't be depended on.
It can't
Well,
be.
seeing,
Shouldn't be.
being involved in the collection and seeing what's come in and what goes out and what everything else is, I think it's real, the bonus obviously is tremendously dependent upon, number one, but I think it's near the top. I think it's really near the top from how I see it come in. Let's put it that way. And for when I see who moved out, some of that impacts everything, you know?
Well, and a big
Yep.
impact.
Well, the other thing is if you do give them, let's say, closer to the 10% bonus than the 5% bonus, can you explain to them that we were discussing giving you only half now and the other half later, but we just decided to give you it all now? So, you're gonna, end up to the good.
That actually
You're not
literally
going
happened
to,
me.
you're not gonna
30
end
years
up with
ago.
more next year, but you're gonna get twice as much this year and it will follow
Next-
through to next year.
come next year, they're not gonna understand.
I mean, I think a better tale is that we're at least matching this year, the inflation right now.
Yes,
8.3.
and that's,
And then next year, we just revisit it to see what the, for the next
I
Yeah,
just don't think-
2024
yeah,
budget.
whatever, but I don't think these guys are gonna put a percentage on it.
No.
No, but
They-
you want to
they
be able
got-
to keep
No, but
up with
we need some
Right,
inflation.
but
measure.
you wanna be
We
able
need
for
to-
them to say,
If the question's
they're trying to
asked,
keep on-
even in our
keep on
minds,
top of
like,
it.
what do we?
I'm just
I
concerned
wish
about
Social Security
retention.
would keep up with it then.
Well, we're fortunate what we have here. Is anybody set to move on? No, well, yes, John Mercer's about to leave us. And that's gonna leave a void for whatever reason in our carpentry, because he's working for a lot less than most skilled carpenters work. And we're gonna have an issue there
To try to replace him.
replace him. We're going to Manatee Tech to see if they have anybody graduating from their carpentry classes that might be interested. We've got an ad out, and we've got social media posted out. To the other point, of course, who wants to go to the beach? But right now they're offering landscapers $25 an hour on longboat, and they can't find anybody to go out there. And so, I mean, I think our guys know that, and if they were going to run out for that,
Yeah,
they
They're
would
they're
go.
already gone.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. We have a good rapport. We have a good team. They enjoy working with each other. We have an environment that's fairly decent for them to work, albeit outside, hot, sticky, muggy, you name it. They like to come to work here. And I think that's important, and that helps us, no doubt.
So are you saying $1 an hour? Or are you saying the full $2?
I think that's really a committee and a board decision.
Or what do you think?
What do I
what's the
think? What do I think? I think that two things. Number one, the money's needed now in many respects. Number two, there's a cap on no matter what you make, where you work, or what you do. And I don't think that it's realistic for anybody who's doing the work that they're doing to expect a $2 raise now and a $2 raise next year and a $2 raise thereafter for what they do. I mean, because it's not brain surgery, let's face it, you know. And if you were going to give them the double raise, you'd say, all right, now we're total maxed out. That's it. That's what the job's going to pay. That's what's going to pay forever. If you want to appreciate it, $1 now, well, certainly nobody's going to turn that $1. No one's going to turn it down.
Well, it's hard to say forever because we write a budget every year.
Well, right, you know, but what I'm
So,
saying is,
you
yeah,
know,
but you
it's-
know, I don't care. If you go to work for GM and you're a fender hanger, you may start at $28 an hour, but you're never gonna go above 35.
That's all they pay.
Well, I
Yeah.
worked for
There's a
Costco and I was at the maximum, but now the maximum is almost their hiring rate
Well,
because, you
yeah.
know, every time they write a new budget or write a new contract, things
Can I ask,
change.
What did we give them in this year's budget? What percentage?
Last year, there was,
Last year for this year.
there was only one, not everybody got raises last year. There was money, because we're working short in landscaping. We were able to give them more, to take care of what needed to be done. Buildings didn't get a raise last time.
You mean give them more in terms of,
No,
No,
we just.
we had one less employee, so we had that money
To give
to
them,
split
Spread
out
the risk.
between them.
yeah, and we did give some overtime and still is underneath the budget. We're still under the budget by paying
what
them.
percentage, like this discussion?
Okay.
Excuse me,
Well,
this
all right,
discussion a
if-
year ago.
All right, a year ago, all the building guys were making $18 an hour. A year ago, Jackie was making 18, he went to 19. A year ago, Alfredo and Chester were at 15, they went to 16. Eddie and Jeff went up $1 an hour, the same way. So not everybody got it.
But this year planning to.
This year,
everybody to
yeah,
get
well,
everybody.
each committee recommended the $2,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, so they were all consistent.
Yeah, and,
Okay,
yeah,
they
there
took
was no
notes.
passing.
Yeah,
it.
that's right.
They colluded.
There was no passing
By
along,
position last year, or by
Yeah.
committee, and then now this year it's all the same. I mean, I think it should.
But I
be
see your
the
point.
same.
I see the point of offering one. or, I mean, I don't think we're gonna lose anybody if, with the one, or even, I don't know, one now and
Next year,
near the end of next year, so we don't have to
might
do it
have
next
to-
year.
So let me-
Next year, we might have to look at 1.5 or.
Yeah.
So let me understand. So it's $2 to get to what the current going rate is on
It's
average.
actually-
On average, pretty much, or certainly to match quote unquote today's inflation.
Match today's inflation.
So it's kind of a get to average situation if you take them to the $2, and it will also cover this 8.6% inflation if you're giving them something closer to the 11%.
And more than half of them are getting benefits.
So I'm just trying to, in my mind, if the question's asked, why are we giving them 11%? What's the answer? We want to get them, we're not only meeting inflation at 8 point something, but we're trying to get them to some current asking price for those positions on average.
Well, I think the thing that brought up
Well,
in the
not only are you
committees
covering
was,
inflations, but you're
we
giving them
don't
an
want to
actual
lose them.
raise that they
No.
can improve
That was
their
the
life.
reason for the $2, as I
Right.
remember, at
Maybe
least
I-
in the building
maybe that
committee, they said, you know,
Part two wasn't worded right.
yeah,
We want to
because we don't,
maintain-
these guys are great, we don't want to lose them, and I don't think we're gonna lose, you know, even at $1.
With the benefits, we have half of them not getting benefits. The
Which ones aren't
insurance
getting
and so on, right?
Let's see,
Can't take too long. It's just, we don't have as many as we usually do.
My point is.
Jim doesn't get it because he's retired military.
Right.
John doesn't get it because John's wife has it through hers. Alfredo gets it, Jeff gets it, I get it. Chester's wife gets something, so no. So it's about 50-50.
The ones that aren't getting it, what do they have to put into it?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
No, I mean,
See where I'm going
it's
with
a-
that? So we've got dollars there that are being spent on half of them, but not on the other half.
we have, but we were able to reduce, that's one thing. There's probably very few reductions, but there was almost a $2,100 reduction in employee insurance
Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask about
this year.
that.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
because we're down for what we take. Unfortunately, the people who get it, Sue set us up on a plan through the government. It's the only thing we could buy. And unfortunately, it's based on a situation, what the income is for the family. Like, our premium is like $200 a month for maybe Alfredo,
That's the market.
but it's $550 a month for Ed Dixon because his wife has a good job, you know. And Jeff gets the super plan, and he's higher than the next one. So it's uneven.
Right.
Are you anticipating replacing these people that we're missing in this next year?
Not if we get through the way we're doing it. We have it in such a way that we're in pretty good shape.
Really?
The answer is yes. Would I like, I got to replace John.
Yeah.
I have to replace John.
But you're
And
down
I
like
wouldn't mind a
three-
partial worker to work
aren't you
out.
down like 3 grounds people?
No, two.
Two.
Oh, so replace John with a part-time.
No, replace John. Well,
No, we need a full
Oh, I
time.
thought you were just saying.
no, I replace maybe one of the grounds with a summer part-time.
Oh.
Because we're coming into the slower time.
Well, we lost the one, what, a year and a half ago? And then,
Well, we
this-
fired Frankie.
and then we just lost this one just a couple months ago.
Yeah, and that's
And
right.
it's been tough for them. You know, people were calling and saying my bushes need to be trimmed in the front. We're getting there. So it's a little bit slower.
I
And the
need more
lawn
trimming than most.
Yeah.
I don't
The
know
lawn
what's in
gets
the
a
water
little
over
longer
there.
before it gets mowed, but
Well, that's usually the rain.
Well,
That's the
only
reason why
reason.
Nail Amanda can flower
The
this
only
year.
reason
too.
the grass
They
is
didn't
long
chop
is
it
the
down.
rain. And we've learned we have to cut some bushes lower when we cut them because those snow creams really grow in front of your place, you know, and that they're nice, but they grow.
yeah, quick.
Yeah, those things grow
So
quick.
we're learning, you know, as we get through some of these, to cut lower. So that, you know, that's gonna be the big discussion. I mean, we got the salaries is probably the only other issue there. Everything else actually, if you add everything up, not to jump ahead to the various columns of the committees or anything like that, but everything else is either
Pretty
even or
much.
down.
Yeah,
So that $2,000 that you're increasing the budget or the actual on salaries is based on the $2 an hour across the board.
It is, it would be Maggie and
So we're really
everybody else.
talking about $2,000 here, guys, not even that.
Right.
It's,
No, 4,100.
4,100.
I'm seeing 9,000. Pardon me,
No, what I'm saying,
That's
eyeball.
administration.
I gotcha. I'm looking at the taxes.
I mean, $1 an hour is 20.80 a year. So
Times 2 people.
4160, it's 4160 times 10 is about 40, in this budget, there's about $44,000 increase in salaries for the employees.
In this budget,
Mhm.
in that one line?
No.
Different
Each area has their own payroll.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the different ones.
What's about 20 grand?
That's just. for-
so yes, you would be taking out, if you go to $1, you would be taking about 20 grand out of the budget. That's right. Which is a savings of about $3 a unit a month.
Maybe, do you have an analysis of taking the total 3,112,000 and if that increased by $300,000, do you have just a high level analysis of what that primarily is made up of, that change?
You mean the difference between
In other words,
the 28
we
and the
could look
30?
at salaries for each category,
Yeah,
but what's the total? What's the total?
40,000.
40,000.
In total,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, increase. That's a
That
40,000.
includes benefits, right?
That includes, no,
No,
this is,
benefits.
this is the increase. In
This
other
is-
words,
We're just talking about the,
if you get $1 an hour, you get
I
20.80
see.
a year.
Okay.
If you get $2 an hour, you get 41.60. There's 10 employees involved, it's $42,000.
Gotcha.
So that would drop that to under 300,000.
Yeah.
And for every dollar you take out, you save about $6,000. For every dollar you put in, costs.
Yeah.
You can add to the budget 60. Well, it's easily done.
Yeah,
Now what? We got something that doesn't work. Yeah. I mean, that's a bad plug. Anyway,
The payroll taxes is gonna be linked to it.
Yes.
yeah, there'll be a disagree. Yeah, like it's 8.5%.
Mhm.
So that would be another 8% of 20,000, another $1,100.
Really, it's made up of.
Considering that they're working shorthanded, I'm kind of thinking that, did you want to put that money in there because you're gonna, who are you gonna hire to replace John? And then
Well, we're
are
gonna
they
have to.
gonna need insurance?
Well, he says, he's talking about if you get somebody from the technical institute, you're talking somebody entry level.
Yeah, we're
So
fortunate enough to do
that
that.
helps.
Well, you're still gonna be maybe paying them insurance because that entry level person's probably not gonna have someone that's gonna have insurance to cover them.
I'm inclined to give them the $2 this year and worry about next year.
Next year.
I'm just, I think that may be
That's fine.
laziness, guys, so I could be talked into $1, but I do think we need to give them a raise and I would rather delight them than disappoint them.
You delight this year, you could disappoint next year.
I understand, and that's why I'm not on the board, no.
So ultimately, the board.
Pass the buck, John. Yeah, pass the buck.
Ultimately, the board's
You didn't
gonna
understand
discuss
the
it anyway.
perpetuity part of your.
I see. Well, it's fine, playing politics.
Well, you can just put the $2 in there, but then tell the board, like if you only wanted to give them $1, you can save $20,000 in the budget. So,
Put
but
that in surplus.
really, in a $3 million budget, what's 20 million or
20,000.
20,000 gonna,
But that $1 is.
like he said, it was like $3 a unit.
It's not even meeting inflation if you go down to $1.
No, you're not. You're only
So it's 8.3% for inflation, and then another 2.8 or whatever for retention.
We need to tell the government
Yes,
that when it comes
there
to
you
our
go.
social security.
Exactly.
You didn't meet.
You didn't need it.
When we get around to voting on this, guys, after seeing this $124,000 insurance, $20,000 is chump change.
I totally agree with you, John. To me,
Sometimes you gotta
$3
think
a
about it.
month on my
$3 a month.
unit is not gonna hurt me at all.
You know.
But I'm thinking of their,
Right.
So
I'm
I'll
a-
take
I own
$36
my own
off of
business,
my
so-
bonus in Christmas.
I think down the line,
Well, you have to think about how you're gonna explain this to people. Like,
Yeah, you're
everybody's
right.
aware, insurance and cable, probably the two biggest.
These guys are not us.
When you
We analyze things, we analyze percentages
I
and
get it.
they're just gonna
That's
say,
what
oh,
I'm saying.
I got a raise.
It's $3, that's okay.
And they're gonna, but
But if we're gonna say, the third thing we're talking about is raises above inflation, that raises eyebrows to people who only
Yeah.
care about, I don't have enough social security to pay my, HOA fee or
Right.
something.
Well,
So,
why don't you split hairs and give them $1.50 this year?
I can do that.
That would
We
that
have
would
to
be
do
right
even
around eight.
numbers.
That would be right around 8.
It would still be, a little bit
Just a
shy,
little
but
short. of-
$1.75?
well, why don't we just call it 8.3? What does 8.3 come out to?
well, April, yeah.
All right, if he's making $16 an hour,
Point.
I feel like I'm trying to do the tip on the bottom of my check.
I have to depend on my phone.
$1.33,
What is it?
$1.33 to somebody making $16 an hour.
It's like $52 a week.
Making $20 an hour. Is $1.66.
So you're talking about giving them $2, or are you talking about giving them
He
a
was
percentage
breaking it
depending
down to
on what they?
$1.50 or $1.
Well, because they all make different salaries.
I know, so are you talking about giving them a percentage, or you're talking about
Well,
just
yeah.
giving them all $2?
Which
I was
depends-
just
I think
asking
it's
what
better
the- what
to
the
keep them
raise.
Depends how you
not
want
the
to
same.
explain it. It depends how you want to explain it.
Well, it
You're
also
gonna have
depends
trouble
on what
explaining
you're,
why he got a bigger raise than he did. I think that keeping the dollar amount the same is probably a better choice.
I
Yeah,
I
because
like that
you're never
idea.
gonna catch up if you're the low
Well,
end.
that's a good point. That's a
Yeah.
good point because
That,
You're never gonna
Yeah.
catch up if you're the low end. That's one thing that people don't realize.
one of the guys, Chester hasn't been here as long, so he's not quite up to the level of the other two.
Yeah.
Okay, because,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, the one would get $1.66, the other one would get $1.33. That could grate. Because they do talk, even though you tell them, don't say
Yeah.
anything.
Yes, so the dollar amount is probably the way to go.
Okay.
So your
Yeah.
$1.50 kind of
I-
splits it in the
yeah.
middle.
yeah, split in the middle, go 150.
Well, that
And
also is
then if we
helpful
have to
because
go
the
up next
person
year,
that's
we'll
not
have
earning
that
hardly
50 cents
diddly
plus maybe
squat
another $1.
is going to
I like
go
that.
up a little bit higher than that $1.33, that,
Let's lock
extra
that
70
down.
cents, if you're not
Right.
making very much, is gonna mean
Right.
more.
Yeah,
You
I
hear
like- I
what,
like
uh,
Two meals a day instead of one meal a day.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Did you guys all hear the $1.50?
Give them a buck and a
We
Yeah.
heard
Across the
it.
board? What do you think of that? That's
I-
over
I think it's good.
8%.
That leaves us a little bit for next year, and if we gotta bump it another buck next year,
Yeah, and it's close to the inflation.
close to the inflation
And
rate.
that gives them $60 more a week.
That's a $31,200 versus roughly, it brings it down about 10 grand. Yeah.
We saved 10 grand, good deal. Sold.
Well, plus the effect with property taxes, payroll taxes.
That'll drop down a little bit too. I mean,
But not much.
8.5 times
Times the
times $10,000 should be about $850.
Okay, I think we should.
So
put
now you
in
got
there-
32,000 now.
We should put in there what the percentage $1.50 is, rather than saying just $1.50.
Oh,
No,
Maybe
then we're
now.
back.
no, no.
No, what I'm talking about is to
It just
present
covers
this
it.
to the board. We're increasing the deal by 8.2%. as opposed to
But
11%.
inflation is 8.3%.
Well, I don't know if it's 8.2. It's all about the
Maybe they got
percentage.
their numbers wrong.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
just
that's
wonder what a buck.
true.
is.
That's-
qualified,
Because it
very,
currently
very
is
close to
8.6.
inflation.
Right.
Oh, all right.
So,
do we vote on that or what do we do?
well, I mean, if that's what, well, I mean,
Well,
that's,
guys-
yeah, why wouldn't you vote on that? Because you gotta make a decision,
maybe
right?
we should give the board the $1.50 and the $2 plans and let them decide.
There you go, because they're gonna change it anyway.
Yeah, right.
Oh, you mean we argued about this for
Wait, no.
45 minutes?
I don't think you should do options. I think you
Yeah,
just
no.
change.
Here's the board.
Oh, no, not
You gave
again.
them the
Yeah,
option last
yeah.
time, and they went with assessment.
The thing is, the insurance and cable is going up so much money that
Mhm.
at the budget committee level, it should be, the onus is on us to try and balance it to the best we can.
Okay. The budget committee can recommend, right?
Absolutely.
I think that's what should be done.
So what did we come out with?
Dollar and a half.
$1.50.
$1.75.
You lose.
You want to hear a dollar?
$1.82.
I'll vote for that.
The number.
Grocery store while you're hungry. Wait a
To
minute.
save that other 25 cents for next
We'll wait
year.
till you get the
Well, at least it
pension
would
check.
meet inflation with the $1.75. It doesn't meet inflation with the $1.50.
All right, if you go with the $1.50, you will be dropping the average maintenance fee by $4.78, what's proposed per month.
People would be happy about that.
$4.
Not over last year's. I'm just saying over the proposed increase.
$4.78.
Yeah,
16 and a quarter.
16 and a quarter.
That's three. That's all.
That's really not my concern. I am concerned about the employees and what
Right.
they're gonna think. You gotta look at the future. I mean,
Come on.
we live for today, you know, I've heard that too many times.
I think we gotta look at what we're gonna charge everybody a quarter too, though.
Yes.
And that's why I'm saying,
Yeah.
as you're working through this
Yeah, oh,
budget, the proposed thing was
Oh, absolutely.
somewhere
I
about
understand it's
50
gone
bucks, and now it's come down to 45 or 35 or whatever, you know.
Would you say, John, that was three something?
It's $4.78. I mean, we'll put it through the computer, but real quickly, by dropping to $1.50, and we take off about $800 in payroll taxes, that equates to about $4.78 per unit per month, as it is lowering what we're looking at potential raising, not lower from last year, unfortunately, because you can't.
Well, this is salaries. I mean, it's the first, we only get the first line on here.
Yeah, but it's probably one of
And it's
the.
about the only thing we're
So
gonna
maybe the only thing you got in
change.
attitude.
Right.
Yeah.
It really is. I don't see a whole lot of anything else on this whole budget that.
Okay, so.
All right, should we move, anything more under administrative? Like I said, we dropped health insurance. We kept workers' comp the same, insurance is up, Florida dues are the same, bookkeeping service is the same, lowered legal a little bit. And you say, well, how can you lower legal? Well, we're getting some of that money back as we collect past dues and things like that. The audit and taxes, we've always been $100 short for some reason, so that's 5,300. That's 5,000 for the audit and 300 for the filing of the taxes. And of course, the cable. So other than slightly increase in postage, because postage has gone up from 51 cents to 57 cents now or something of that nature.
59, isn't it?
So, I mean, we have no choice on some mailings.
John, did we put anything in the budget for digitalizing or putting on the computer all the paperwork he's got?
Yeah, there's like $3,000 annual.
All right, good. Is that under the information
Yes.
technology?
That'll be under office expenses or whatever.
Okay, so we are working on that part. have a budget
Yes.
for it. Okay.
Maybe some.
We have volunteers.
Here, I
volunteers.
think that's right there is what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's it. That's okay.
What do you want to move on to?
Yeah. Let's move on.
Okay, yeah, sorry, Tom, I don't mean to usurp for you.
Take over your meeting. Tom.
Information technology is, they basically said the same.
Now, I thought we were just talking about getting a TV in here.
There is,
That's in-
but that's in their hopes.
Oh, that's in here.
Yeah.
Anybody ever
It's
go
not
to
in the budget
Goodwill?
necessarily.
You go to Goodwill, they got a whole bunch of TVs and.
You know how many good TVs we have in the back?
Yeah.
Are they large screen?
Yeah, we pick them up all the time, but
Yeah.
most of them don't work.
Yeah.
Well, now
Mine's
you're
in
talking, I
Goodwill,
just
too.
got rid of one, so.
I mean, I think we could probably get a dedicated one. I mean, people have turned in TVs on a regular basis. We have one that works in the
Well, put out
outside.
an email and ask if somebody's getting rid of one, it works,
I
let
wish
us
I'd
know.
known, 'cause I
Yeah.
Gave one 6 months ago to a
Yeah,
friend.
Just two.
Yeah, I gave one away to one of the guys that work
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, but if you look at the 3-year plan for IT, they're talking about a TV and mobile web stand in their wish list for
Okay.
next year,
Do you
okay?
think we should talk
What's the
about a
3-year?
clubhouse or something?
Well,
Somebody shoot this guy.
Remember, I'm off the board. No.
I can't reach you. Lean over so I can
Yeah.
hit you.
so their expenses are in line with last year, okay? And they were able to reduce those because they found a better website than we had before. Grounds, basically, only up about $8,000. And that'll come down a little bit with the salary decrease. But our fertilization contract's the same, our lake contract is the same. We've lowered outside services because we tend to do everything in-house and we haven't done anything outside. We may not even use it next year, but I want to put a little money in there just in case. And so everything else is in order.
This year we had the mulch put down later in the year,
We had it earlier in the year.
earlier.
We
than-
missed last year.
We
Oh,
missed
okay, I
last
was
year, we
gonna
did it
say,
earlier this year.
and so there isn't going to be savings or anything like that.
If we can live through till January, then we'll pick up about $15,000 in this year's budget. Yeah.
Good, let's give it to the salaries.
Yeah.
Let's skip the mulch, give it to
It's
salaries.
not outside that square. I just like to see it get something back, but
She wants about
I don't want to screw up our schedule, but I just thought maybe since last year, because of problems, we ended up with having to wait later because they didn't have mulch or something. I don't remember what it was that held us back, but that.
I
give
think
us-
they had problems getting delivery, didn't they?
There was no delivery available. That's
We had to go
exactly
pick it
right.
up.
No, we got it delivered, but
Oh,
it
really?
was not available
Early on, they
early
they
on.
didn't have drivers.
They didn't have drivers to bring it to us. That was part of it. You're right. So we got part of it last year and part of it this year. We paid it for this year. So theoretically, we already inured the 15,000 from the year before. So,
Good, okay, I'm happy.
any questions about that? And their 3-year plan includes stones. If you know, most of our walkways that we have pebbles in, it sinks into the ground, and so they want to refurbish some of that. I think that's realistically will be done in this operational budget.
Safety issues and stuff.
Buildings. Again, the raise will come somewhat down in the employees. We have lowered the services, outside services in general, because many of them have been taken over by reserve projects. Supplies are up because costs are up. And everything else is pretty much on target.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
To back up, where are our light posts? Our lamps
Light posts, well,
along the driveway?
we have a reserve to replace the system if we want, but normally the lights come out of the purchase of supplies for the grounds, and the posts come out of the purchases supply of the buildings. That's the way it's split currently.
Do we
What?
have any reserve, regular reserve for replacement?
We have reserved for replacing the system. Yes. Completion, yeah. You go back to the,
But that's not the actual posts and the lamps. Or
well,
is it?
yeah,
Oh,
they
okay, so-
want to replace the whole thing.
Well, when we take a look at the blacktopping and the road repair, we've got a 5-year plan. If in the 5 years, we're gonna do something. These posts are getting to a point where maybe we need to do a cluster at a time.
A little shoddy, and some of them. not
Well, we
all.
can paint them if you want. You
Even
know,
the paint, I have the paint one behind me and even the paint is
It's
now.
starting to bubble because it's rusting underneath.
yeah.
I think
Well,
Jeff
I agree,
replaced one of
yeah.
ours. I think he replaced it with like a PVC pipe and painted it black. It looks fine.
Yeah, we're using PVCs now,
Yeah.
and they have tendency to have a better life. Grounds lights, we got 4 more years. We've got a budget, we have money in the bank now of almost $17,000 for ground lights
There you go.
in our reserve account, which you have a copy of there.
And that's under, is that under grounds or is that gonna be under buildings as far as
Reserves.
discussion?
It's,
For that committee, is that grounds committee type thing?
that has been the grounds committee.
Yeah.
All right, well, maybe we should put that down as one of their projects to see
Yeah,
when and what they want to do with that.
okay.
Yeah.
I know there was some talk about the wiring, because the
Yeah.
wiring.
We've had a lot of
Well,
between
every
the
time we
boulevard
replace
doesn't-
wire, we bury it in conduit,
Good.
but that, so
And
we're
that
doing,
conduit,
instead of
yeah.
doing it all at one expensive thing, when we get bad ones, we do it. Because it's all
That would
buried.
be, yeah, I'd bring up a grounds meeting and maybe have them take a look at
Yeah.
different posts, different clusters,
Yeah,
maybe seeing how we do have the money in reserves.
Yeah, you could spend $16,000 tomorrow if you, if we felt we had to, it'd be worthy. Which would go a long way toward replacing posts.
yeah. I just noticed when I walked. that
And
some
what
of them
would
are
we
looking
get?
kinda-
That's the kind of thing I'd like to them say, 16,000, we do 3 clusters. with
Take
each post or
notes.
Something like that. I
When
don't
my
know,
dog
but
goes to pee on it, I'm afraid he's gonna get a shock.
I would be too.
Yeah.
Well, I'll stay away from that one. No.
That's why
That's
our
why you
posts are
get
going back.
How about what comes back up the leash?
Talking about that, there's a tree at the end of Wildwood Boulevard. It has a little blue ribbon thumbtack to it.
Well,
Is
we
there
know
a
what that
reason
is.
for that?
Yeah, that's the spot where most dogs like. It's the-
It's a blue ribbon tree.
That's
You
the one I
won.
saved from
You
myself.
won the award for the most used tree by dogs.
Has a blue ribbon on it.
We put that on there to tell the people about it.
The carrotwood tree marking. Cut this carrotwood tree. You can take it down.
It looks like it has some golf sector growing on it, but I don't know why they put a blue ribbon on it.
I can't hear much.
John, we're losing your sound.
We are.
Yep.
Haven't seen any changes here. We okay?
That's better.
Okay.
While we're talking about the buildings, I know that on the reserve of painting is another 2 years out. What about the rim, like the railings that are so horrible and the post holds up the second floor that look so horrible? I don't have a
Railings?
Picture.
We're still not getting enough sound.
I don't know what happened.
Where's the volume?
The volume is right here.
And nobody's moved anything over there.
Probably a
That-
dog
Can you hear me
cat
now?
somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
So that volume is all the way up. There's a volume and for these
It
speakers.
just might,
It seems to be better now.
Okay.
Okay,
maybe when more than one person talks at a time.
we'll try to
Get this
watch
out
it.
of the way so-
Okay. The question is, we certainly can get 2 years out of the stucco.
Right.
I mean, because we've been able to wash it and do things
Yep.
to it. All of the wood trim is becoming deteriorating as we would anticipate. And of course, everybody has a conversation about the metal posts. So we got a price. A contractor come out, spent a whole week here detailing all the wood, all the fencing, all the siding, all the
Railings.
metal railings. And came up with a price. And so we thought maybe that would be something to do the year before we do the stucco. To come in more into, and it was 354,000. Well, last time we did everything, it was 545,000. And that was
we didn't do
8
the
to 10
railings.
years ago, and we didn't do the railings. So we're looking at doing something like suggested, yes.
Any in-house thoughts about it?
No,
We haven't got enough.
we don't have
people.
enough.
We have a reserve for all that.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
And
it's all-
the good news is that, I mean, the problem is the biggest cost there, along with some labor costs, not ours, but the painters, is the materials, painting materials is up,
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
up, up, up,
Yeah.
up. So, but we now know, we got a handle on what exactly we could do. We could have all the wood and all the railings and everything painted tomorrow for $354,000 as the one bid we got, you know?
And we're ahead of the game, which I think is neat, because we're at least 2 years more
Yeah.
than what we.
We had an
planned.
8-year warranty and we're figuring 10 years because we're getting it.
On the stucco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and that looks
So
great.
you think you can postpone that another year or two on the painting? even
Well,
though
we
it's
know
in
we
there
can get
for
another
2?
year out of we're not worried about 2 years on the stucco. We're worried about 2 years on the wood because many of it looks weak.
Yeah, and there's a
and
lot of
gates.
pieces of some of the window coverings that have guys are rotting and
Right.
Yes.
they need
Well,
to
I'm
be
just thinking
replaced.
if you can delay part of it, you can use some of that money to do this
Oh,
other part, the
You mean,
wood
you
part.
mean the salary?
Yeah.
No, don't start that.
Yeah.
You still
Steal
want
it from
that-
Peter to cut
Yeah,
Paul.
yeah.
I do, no.
Hey, you-
Careful, they'll have us down to $1.
Yeah, it's right.
No, I'm thinking that if you can postpone the painting for a year, because our paint really looks good. You
Yeah,
can
well,
use
that's-
some of that money that we would have accrued
Mhm.
to handle the wood and the
The
railings.
overcost of the paint.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that when we get the reserves, okay?
Okay.
Because we still want to briefly talk about that. So that's a good point.
I thought
And
we
that's
had
the whole
reserves.
idea. We did, but I'm just, if there have anybody have any questions, that's all. So, then we get to, security, which is, basically the same.
But we have, that's our contract, right?
Uh-huh.
The guard is,
There's
yes.
There's no anticipated increase in that.
No.
contract?
No,
Really?
no, we did, we've already talked to him.
Okay.
Do we still need him?
Yes.
I think it's a good thing.
I mean, they arrested the guy that was showing his willy, so, you know, like.
By the way, he
What
was
more
just
do we need
sentenced.
him for?
There's a copy
By the
of
way,
that.
he was just sentenced last week to 4 years in the Huskow. He's a year.
Yeah, he's already served a year.
He's served a year.
Okay.
Apparently, we weren't the only ones that he was advertising.
All right, pool and tennis, obviously, the pool has a wage that'll be somewhat lower. Equipment rental is in there basically because we haven't decided whether we want to purchase that equipment or not.
Oh, okay.
So
I was gonna say, that isn't in there.
that's, the purchase, the equipment is not in there, no. Supplies or costs are up. Everything else is pretty much equal.
Did we not put in reserve for replacement?
I can't hear.
Did we not put in the reserve when we were talking about
Replacing those.
lease, keep renting versus buying?
No, at that
and then
time we did
future
not.
replacement? We didn't.
No, well, we can go back and look at it. Yeah, but no, that's right. If we buy it, we would certainly would put it in the reserves for future, for repurchase.
Right.
So
But-
we're not.
Well,
we're
let's
still
talk
gonna
about when we
rent
get
it?
there. Yes. I mean, right now, we're renting. That's all we know.
Yeah,
You could change that this afternoon, it's important me, you know,
yeah.
but right now, we're renting.
I thought the board was leaning towards buying equipment.
I think they are, but they gotta come up with the money. Which we can recommend to them if we get back to the reserve.
We're going back down with that.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
next to that.
Down to $1.
We might be back- we might be able to get rid of that line item if you change that other line item, okay.
Utilities, only up a little bit. And that's basically because usage on reclaimed water slightly up, about 600. Electric, pretty much average. Trash removal dropped just a little bit. And pest control, natural gas, the same, rather. And pest control up slightly, so it's very close within. We are anticipating $100 a month increase on pest service. That's the only contract that anybody's going up on this year. And it is, last time we bid it, the cheapest one was $2,200 and we're paying $1,450. We're gonna pay $1,550 now instead of, so we're still well under the service we have.
You know, we've done quite a bit on the water and sewer savings plan. In fact, we've been successful. Is there anything else on the horizon that we can look at for savings on?
Water's been the big one, you're right.
That's, we've pretty well used up all the goodies that we can there. There's nothing more, right?
Pretty much so. You know, we could go to, the biggest place would be your natural gas, but I don't know how much it saved. You certainly don't want to go below 85 degrees or 86, whatever we have the pools at.
84.
I went
80.
and looked at the solar thing. That's the biggest joke.
Which
But
we
I
found
was
that out.
hoping- I was hoping we could use solar on the pools and.
Yeah.
We found that out. We really
So
did.
I
It's
guess it-
ironic that for the state of Florida,
And
largely
Sunshine
condominium
State.
complexes, that there's no provisions for nonprofits
Absolutely.
going solar. It's
Doesn't make
crazy,
sense.
right? It doesn't
My
make
thought
sense.
pattern at one time is we could actually sell our electricity to our surrounding neighbors, for instance. We have a big enough program, but the bottom line is that there's nothing.
But Yale doesn't want to go, we just can type some more rental.
All right, so basically, running through this budget, you've reduced almost $5 the quarterly fees as proposed going to the board
Monthly,
after you do it. Yeah.
$5 a month or $15 a quarter.
$15 a quarter.
I think some residents will be happy to hear that.
What do you think, Tom? Should somebody make a motion to accept this as?
Yes, well, we gotta make the changes to the payroll as suggested, but yeah, we better have a suggestion, you know, to adjust it for the fact we're gonna do $1.50 per hour adjustment rather than $2, right?
Yeah, that's basically it. And then I'll put the figures together. You can, we balance it out. you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
I make a motion that we accept it as modified. Here is- and, go with it.
Gonna talk something about something being bought instead of rented, so we could take that rental thing off.
Well, we'll get to that, but I don't think we'll get that here. I don't know if we do it that quick. I don't know if we can order it that quick. There may be, it may take to get the product. So we're gonna be some rentals gonna be in there no matter what.
Okay.
Look at the
And then
bottom.
that'll just be a surplus if we get it.
Yeah.
You know. That'd be nice.
But do we have them as three-
Dollar,
I like that word.
$1.92.
We're only looking for 4.
But John, to
That's what
buy it,
that's gonna cost.
we have a surplus.
Okay.
if we
Oh,
were to
okay.
That's a
buy it,
3-year
but
plan.
where's the
Oh,
money
all
coming
right.
from?
Well,
Right.
part of it will be, we can take it from the operating
Okay.
fund that we didn't pay rent on.
And the rest comes from the
If
reserve.
we buy. it.
It would help us if only one person at a time talked.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Chris. All right. Is there a second on John's motion?
I will.
All right, that part. But basically, we're sending to the board an operating budget, basically as proposed by the committee, less by the various committees,
Yes,
less the salaries.
Yeah.
And it's down to 150 and a lower of the payroll taxes. Is that,
Yeah.
okay?
Mhm. Yeah.
All in
sounds
favor?
good.
All in favor?
Aye.
I-
Aye, okay.
Opposed?
All right, we want to get into the reserves real quick. That should be part of your packet again. And that would be this one here.
It's, towards the end.
Yeah. I should have marked these, numbered these pages, sorry.
Point that my direction so I can see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wrong page, okay,
Just a couple pages below that final page.
okay.
There we go.
Well, there's in the packet, in the,
Yep.
or in your
In
packet,
that pack.
in the packet.
It's
yeah,
reserve
yeah,
funding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what you basically agreed on, but just in case there's any questions in there, the new things were money for pond maintenance put in there. Emergency storm repairs is in there. Security camera system is collected money. Trees and shrubs. There's $20,000 in there. These are all what they call pooled reserves. The board has the right to move these monies around for certain expenditures. So if you're asking where you could get $40,000 for the equipment for the pool chemical place, you could theoretically take $20,000 from trees and shrubs, since we have a healthy budget for that elsewhere.
John, on my page for 2023, trees and shrubs shows zero.
Zero contribution because we put 20,000 in.
We have 20.
See,
Oh, we already have it.
Yeah,
Got
we
it.
already have it.
Got This
Yeah.
is funding. I got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
And so what you would do if you took some of that to pay for the, pay for the other thing, you would just go ahead and have to refund it next year. No major changes.
John, as we go down the line here, we've been talking about the stucco paint, which is called building paint. If we put that back 2 years and we're still contributing, say, I can't see what the number is, but
73,000 a year.
7,000, do we see that we've got another $146,000 that we? can
No,
spend
because
if
we're
we-
anticipating it's gonna be 2 years before we paint.
Okay.
If we
So
put it
that's
back
already
3
in.
years, we'd find
Then-
$75,000.
And we might be able to do that.
Well,
We'll have to wait
is
and
there,
see.
so there's some things in
Yeah.
there that we could do because we're not going to have to paint every 5 years, we'll paint every
Right,
10. or
right.
something like that.
Right.
So,
We may be able to clean the buildings one more time and might be able to get 3 years. And then you would have that extra 73,000.
well, I think that the only thing that I've seen in here to try and get something done with this insurance program is to see if we can find something like that in the reserve or a reserve contribution that we don't have to make because of the fact that we aren't going to paint it for 2 more years. And we already have it fully funded. That's what I was thinking.
It will be fully funded in 2 years when we paint. It's not fully funded.
Yeah. Okay.
We have it figured at $575,000.
Yeah,
Now, we just got a quote in there for what, the 364. Now, maybe the stucco is gonna be up too, and maybe we'll have to fund it even more to do it in 2 years.
exactly. I understand.
Yep.
An extra year might be just covering what
I
we
think
need.
the only thing I was looking at is an example. I don't know if maybe it's the one, and do we have anything in there? I don't think so, because we keep following in standpipes and landings.
Yeah.
So,
But we still have a lot of money in the stack pipe business. Do we still, are stack pipes a done deal or are they still
Well,
going?
we're finished with
ongoing
them.
issue?
We're finished with them.
But isn't
But
it,
we're
doesn't
reserving
that mean
for
that
next
there's
time.
all
You're
that?
building up the pot. for
We're
the-
building up for next time.
Yeah.
Oh,
But here again, you could purchase. Attention. Here again, theoretically, you could take the money from building pipes that have a 55-year life, kick it back up to 60 again and buy your, I mean, you
Yeah.
wonder where you could get the money from. That would be a place because most of us probably won't be here in 56 years to replace the pipe.
You care about it.
yeah, but they'll have that video.
Yeah, That's right.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
The 89 second floor entryways. You
Yep.
know, from discussions during board meetings, there's a few, this says it has 6-year remaining life. Is that an average? Because
That's all we
I
can
thought
do.
some of them needed to be done,
Yeah.
like.
Well, the ones we're
now.
doing, the ones, anything we're doing, I mean, we're past the emergency state.
We are. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're
That was my
past the
question.
emergency state. We're now into the ones we would want to do. And then there'll be the ones that we're gonna do because we're gonna do them all.
Okay.
And the big problem, the big slowdown in this thing is help. Labor.
Have we adjusted the pricing to
Yes.
reflect the?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
what's the difference in the tools?
There were different years they were done. They were done over a 6 or 7 year period,
Oh,
and they
really?
have the same life.
I think we talked. it was a workshop about the surfacing for the tennis courts. Where it has damage to it and has slow spots or something as to whether it breaks or not.
Yeah, we've got a bid of about $3,500, and we have that in
Just to fix that one
Just
one
one
area,
spot.
yeah,
one little spot, and I think you're getting more.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, no, that was to do anything that he found. Remember, he went tapped everywhere. That wasn't just to fix one little spot.
That before or after we had fish growing on.
Yeah,
the-
yeah, crawling on him. Yeah, I think it's a little more. than that. I think
So what is this tennis courts referred to? Is that a resurfacing?
this is a resurfacing,
Fencing.
repainting, anything expense to the court.
Kind of a general fund for. But how much would a resurfacing cost?
A complete scarification with everything would be $16,000
It says it has 6 years left, but I don't think it has 6 years left
on the paint.
on,
On tennis
on
courts?
what you're talking about,
Oh,
soft
yeah.
spots and stuff.
Reserved for the tennis court?
Yeah. I don't know, that's your play on it. You know, I don't think we have to take it all the way down and before 6 years. We might be able, might have to repaint it or do like this $3,000 repair. We would do that out of this money. And the last time that we quote unquote painted it, it was about 6,000, something like that. So I think that it could be, you know, metered out in such a way that we could
I don't
retain.
play tennis. I
So
just enjoy the fish.
We're pretty sure it doesn't have to be resurfaced, just a spot fix it.
now,
I think the lower court, because of the water, there's got a lot of cracks in the surface throughout. I mean, they're
You
not
haven't lost any
affecting our
pickleball
play,
players,
but,
huh?
huh?
You haven't lost any.
No, I
pickleball
haven't
in
found
singles.
any holes. But occasionally the ball will hit one of those spots where the dirt underneath is dropped out and the ball, I mean, if you drop a pickleball from this high up, it'll bounce this high. You hit one of those spots, that ball will not come but that far off the ground. It hits it and just stops.
So what's the plan in the budget or research?
Well, the plan is we have to check the erosion, and part of the erosion problem is the lake. We're looking at the lake now.
5 days
Yeah,
this last rain.
the south end of the court, we don't know how much erosion damage was done there when the lake overflowed. And that's why we're checking now the drainage of the lakes, or that lake.
And you found somebody that went in a scuba tank. and plugged in the holes.
Yeah, we're taking requests.
the one up in, I can't believe how much water is standing up there behind the shopping center off of
Yeah.
Cortez there.
There
Yeah,
are,
everywhere.
you name it, there are cottonmouth snakes in there. There's everything you want to think about.
I
You
had
don't
my
want to get in that lake.
No.
One of the neighbors asked me about our mosquito control with these standing water places. Are we looking at
We
stuff
have
like
those pellets that we put out.
Good, excellent.
Yep.
That was a question.
Yep. Wasn't too bad considering everything. Any other questions about reserves?
I mean, speaking to the pickleball committee. Are you comfortable with? Or we're just playing a wait and see game and then see if we can get the money
Partially to
together?
that, I mean, the one spot that's really bad happens to be right where the net is. So unless the ball sort of hits the net and falls right straight down, it doesn't bother our play at this point. But the lake is the culprit, and that's what we've been starting to try to look at this lake. We pulled an extra board out of the main drain that drains over into the huge lake, which is where this one's supposed to go, back to the other two and then finally around. And that brought it down pretty quick. So that's something that maybe we can deal with that to keep it off of the tennis courts.
Is there any thought of putting up a retaining wall that might be put in along lakes?
That would just
baskets
push
with-
it right back out into that clusters of
Yeah,
the
that's palm tree.
palm tree is already
Every
underwater.
Yeah, and I think it
When the
was,
lake-
M's carport was underwater.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because it's all part of that lake goes both ways. We think that maybe the corrugated pipe that's been in the ground for 40 years may have been crushed. We're gonna try to start looking at that because we had the same thing happen at the end of Wildwood Springs Boulevard about 4 years ago, where we had to bring in a backhoe and we did it all in-house. The guys could do it themselves, dug everything up and replaced the pipe. So that may be happening. Need to
So
hear.
it's, right now, we're sort of playing it by ear.
I like tadpoles in my driveway. It's kind of.
As part of the
That's
mosquito
all
control.
When I went to
part of the
retrieve,
wildlife.
when I came out the last Sunday, and the water was about 16 inches deep down at the far corner. Well, one of our nests was down there along the fence line, so I took my shoes off and off I go across the court. Now, I'm walking along and all of a sudden I see this thing backing up from me. And I'm saying,
Oh.
what is that?
Look at a
Look
snake.
at that, this big.
Oh, fish?
This is a crayfish. And I'd take a step and he'd go back. I took a picture of him, but the water was literally about 16, 17 inches deep. And then it went all the way up to, at one point, the gate that goes into the tennis courts, the top courts. It was right up there.
Then he expanded and said, look, there's this big lobster crawling.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It was delicious, a little
Yeah.
drawn butter.
Yeah. I zoomed the picture up, so if you look at the picture I took, it really looks like a lobster.
Where did you say you're from originally?
Any other questions? Obviously, this year, we're still gonna have an expenditure on the sealing the roads. The major expenditure next year will be continuing to do entryways and wood repair for the paint project. That's one of the things that we do. Last time we painted, we spent over $110,000 in wood repair before we painted, because it was our whole project was, we're not gonna paint rotted wood. But we were a lot better off with the wood than we were 5 years ago, or 8 years ago now.
So should
Because-
people that have rotted wood be contacting you?
We
or is
do all
that-
the time,
They'll do?
do all the time.
And we look when we're out
Yeah.
Yeah.
riding around.
Some it's pretty obvious, some
Yeah.
because you live there, you know better from the inside, than we do.
I had a conversation with several in
Yeah.
my cluster this past
Yeah.
week.
Yeah,
That call it back.
I mean, I have
That's what I told them, put a work order. in.
that's the best way.
660. You can't see their recycling. You just drive through a question, you can't see. Those slats look pretty shoddy.
Really, I'll look.
Yeah, some of those hurricane shutters,
Oh,
the wood's so
662.
old, I don't think that they would
664.
survive any kind of
Uh,
hurricane.
Trust me, they're not hurricane shutters.
No.
John, that was 664. I think it did go up. That was the other one.
That's not what the real estate people tell you when they're trying to sell
Yeah,
it to you.
those are decorative shutters.
Well, the insurance company will tell you. it doesn't get you insurance credit.
Now, and the only way you can get full credit, even for if you put hurricane-proof windows in, is every window in the building is done.
Right. you have to go
Yeah,
all-
that's what
So,
I
you
found
know,
out.
I mean,
you
so
know,
even if
unless-
you can't get it, you get a break maybe for the roof, but you won't get a break for any of the.
Well, they told me, because I did replace the front windows, they told, because those are intact windows. I still couldn't get a credit because I didn't do the rear.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But
Yeah,
now
I did all
See,
Well,
I
now
did
they're-
the- I
yeah.
did the front and the back, and they said,
Well,
no,
you were
there's
on
no,
the
because
unit.
you have to do the
Not the
whole.
whole
Oh, they
building.
keep, maybe
Yeah.
they keep changing.
My
the
neighbors all
Yeah,
have to
they
do
do.
it too, yeah.
Not only they raise the rates, they change the parts, the guy. Okay, all right, so
All right.
I guess we're at a level of of comments, huh, Tom?
All right, perfect. Yes. Any comments?
Any comments? Not that we had any.
We brought in lunch, we just go to the,
Right, almost a board meeting coming up. Yeah.
Right to the board meeting?
Yeah,
Well, I think that I have to thank the committees. I think they did a really reasonable job.
Thanks go to the committee and the committee chair in particular. That's what you said, Tom.
Yeah, okay, all right. We will put it together.
I mean, that made our life a lot easier, and just trying to, evaluate what the changes are.
All right, so I'll put this together and we'll send it out to everybody. And once we are on the same page, it will go to the board at its October meeting.
Good, great,
Good
All
job,
right.
guys.
great,
thanks, Tom.
great job. Thank you. A motion for adjournment, please.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. Okay,
All
all right, thank you, folks.
All right,
Appreciate
Tom,
it.
see you in a little bit.